Well, today's the day. The last update for the Planter Garden TV Herb Garden Challenge. Hashtag PlanterHGC 2024. Let's get out here. Put on my sweet new shoes. Ready to go. Let's see if our herbs wound up. There's no place like the garden. Alright, I'm going to start at my leaf green stalk. Down here at the bottom, I have bee balm, wild bergamot. I actually have 2 of those, looking all right. I also have stevia. Let's give a quick update on stevia. Stevia is a member of the Asteraceae family, the aster family, daisy family, and this variety is called Candy. Scientific name is Stevia rebaudiana. You prune the flowers for improved leaves. It's also called sweet leaf, sugar leaf. It's native to Brazil and Paraguay, and it is known for the extracts that are manufactured from its leaves. Now, I'm actually having to re-record this video, but earlier I did, for the first time this season, prune some of these leaves and taste them. And I have to do it again because I want you to understand how dang good. Well, you first get a touch of the sweet, very, very sweet, and then the grassy, herbaceous taste. And it's really good. I really don't like the sort of artificial sweetener taste. First time I ever tried this, I grew it indoors in my hydroponic AeroGarden system. And I was like, man, but seriously, grow some stevia. I definitely want more of this to put in smoothies. Anyways, what else do we have here? Alright, I also have one of my Roman chamomile. This is one of the smallest ones, not including the one that was decimated by something eating it. Then I have winter savory. This is my only winter savory plant. It's been super duper slow growing even before I put it out here, but once I put it out here, it's actually, this is it growing more. That's actually kind of more what its leaves look like once it matures. The taste, there's so little leaves, I don't even want to try it again. Like I said, I'm redoing the video. Taste reminds me of thyme, oregano, and rosemary kind of texture. Winter savory is Satureja montana. It is a perennial, unlike summer savory. It's used medicinally and culinary purposes and decoratively. You can use it to flavor meat, fish, soups, stews, salads, and it's beneficial to the whole digestive system. I've grown this before, and it did survive the winter. The first time, this last time, I didn't think it was going to survive, and maybe it's still hanging in there, but we'll see. Okay, fine, I'll show you. This was a bee balm that I never actually potted up, and that's how they all looked starting off, was this sort of burgundy, this dark reddish brownish color. Now, over here, yes, it needs to be weeded. By the way, that's not for the challenge. Stay focused. Italian dandelion. At least they were. These 2. They were starting to grow back when I planted them after they'd been eaten the first time. And then they were eaten again. Okay? Here is what used to be my biggest wild bergamot bee balm plant. You might recall from my last update that was the one that was in a pot, and I set it there and it rooted. So I went ahead and planted it, and it is being happy. Let me tell you something about wild bergamot. Let me remind you, wild bergamot, aka bee balm or horse mint, It's of the mint family, Monarda fistulosa. It's native to North America, and Prairie Moon said that it was cited for historical medicinal applications by indigenous peoples. All right, moving on. Let's go ahead and get this open. All right, these guys kind of got forgotten about, which makes them all the more awesome because I have broccoli plants and, a collard that I'm collecting seeds from, and I completely neglected them and kind of forgot about these two plants, which are my other stevia, which is looking pretty scraggly, and one of my mammoth basil that is going to flower. Considering how much shade they're getting, how much they've been blocked by these bigger plants, I'm actually impressed that they're even still alive. And I noticed the other stevia was doing this sort of crinkly leaf look on the older leaves. They're both doing it, and they are a little bit more bitter than the newer leaves, a little less sweet. Okay, mammoth basil, which reminds me, that too is mammoth basil. Got planted super late, but man, I can't believe it survived the way it did. Just trekking out in the garden in my sweet new getup. Woo! All right, focus. This is another of my Roman chamomile. I don't know why this one's always kind of seemed bunched up at the top, but yeah, you can see this is, ooh, a ladybug. That's not the first one I've seen here. This one's doing better than the other one in the leaf. Nice looking plant. But this, I'm proud of this baby. This is my biggest and bestest mammoth basil. Isn't she a beauty? I have picked off a couple of the flowers. You see it's there's so many. This is one plant. I picked a leaf earlier. It's actually still in my pocket. It's not going to be nearly as impressive anymore, but no, it's not. But it's the biggest one. Oh, yeah, that's sad. We'll pick one off of here and show you. Mammoth basil. This is a lettuce leaf basil from Italy, and this one is smaller. There's my hand. Now it disappeared. This one is actually smaller than the other one, and I did taste it before, and the larger leaves are not, they're a lot more leafy tasting. They're okay compared to, say, a small leaf like this size. And this basil has a very licoricey taste. Beautiful though, isn't it? Beautiful, beautiful plant. So mammoth basil is, all basils are of the mint family, Ocimum basilicum. Mint family is Lamiaceae. Like I said, this is a lettuce leaf from Italy, and it may help manage diabetes and help with digestion. It also has detox properties. FYI, I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a doctor. I'm not anything professional like that. I am just an amateur gardener, so all of the things I share here are just from my own stuff I've looked up. Do your own research before you eat any herbs. Food is medicine. Herbs especially are medicine. Do your research because they all contain chemical compounds that aren't good for everybody. So it's up to you to figure out whether or not you should even be eating a particular herb, especially if you're on any medication, and if you should be eating how much of it. Okay. Edible chrysanthemum, shungiku, also known as chop suey greens. This is one plant. Look at all of these stalks coming off of this one plant. I am definitely going to have to trim this. But all of these are going to want to flower. And I have tasted this before. In my thumbnail is my ramen noodle. that I used Shungiku in. And it has a chrysanthemum-y taste, as I heard described online, and that's very accurate. It is aromatic and grassy. Here is another chrysanthemum. Now this one grew out like an arm. This is the first one to flower, and you'll see that some of the petals are missing because I ate it earlier, because the petals are also can be eaten raw. And let's see. They're like the leaf, only more mild. Okay. Last over here for the challenge is my biggest and bestest Italian dandelion, aka chicory. Chicory is not a true dandelion. It is related to. It is related to like radicchio and endive. It's also called blue sailors, coffee weed, cornflower. It is Chicorium intybus. It's been naturalized in the U.S. It wasn't native here, and survives zones 3 to 9. It'll grow like a blue flower. I also added some of this, can be kind of bitter, to my ramen noodle earlier.